In this video, we'll see how we can update the content status for our web map item in ArcGIS Online using the ArcGIS API for Python. So open up the content status.py script from the web map settings folder. Content status is actually a configuration for an item object. Let's head over to the documentation for the content status property. Here we have the content status property for an item object, and it states if an item is authoritative or deprecated. This gives owners and administrators of the item the ability to warn users that they should either be using this information or not. The content status property can take on three values. We can have authoritative, deprecated, or none. So let's head back over to PyScripter and check all three of these out. We'll first access ArcGIS Online. We'll then call the content manager get method and supply in our web map item ID, which I'll paste in now from my notepad, or you can grab from ArcGIS Online. We'll assign the calling of the get method to a variable called web map item, and this will represent an item object. First up, we are going to simply print the current content status. So we'll print our web map item dot content status. But before running that, let's pop on over to ArcGIS Online. Here I'm in ArcGIS Online and in our training folder. Here we have the web map of interest that we've been using throughout this course. I'm going to click in. I'm going to click into the settings tab. Here we have the content status. At the moment, neither authoritative or deprecated have been set. This would indicate that it is currently set to none. Let's head back over to PyScripter and run our script. We're going to print the item object content status to screen. So I'll run the script. Our script is complete, and although none was not printed to screen, there was an empty string, and it is this empty string that indicates that there is no content status set on our item. I'll comment out our print statement and open up our second example where we're going to set the content status to be deprecated. So in here, I'm going to create a string and put in the word deprecated, and I'm going to simply run the script. We can see down there that I am getting an error because I named the variable wrong, and that means I have done it down the way here. I like to show these errors because they are very common. I'll rerun the script. We can see our script is complete. I'm going to comment out our second example and rerun our first, where we print the content status to screen. I'll run the script. And this time we can see that we were returned deprecated. So let's head on over to ArcGIS Online. I'm going to refresh our settings page. And we can see that the content status is now deprecated. If I go back into the content of our ArcGIS Online and in our training folder, we can see that we have this deprecated symbol here, not recommended for use. Let's head back over to PyScripter. I'll comment out our print statement, and we are going to set it back to none this time. Our content status back to none. So we'll go none, not commented, and run our script. Our script is complete. We'll head on over to ArcGIS Online. I'm going to refresh this item page, and we can see that our deprecation has been removed. Back over to PyScripter, comment out our third example, and for our last, we are going to set as authoritative. So here I need to set content status to equal a string that is authoritative, and I'm going to run the script. I'll comment out the example we just ran, and I will run our print statement. We can see we now get this org authoritative flag, and if we head over to ArcGIS Online, I'll refresh this content item page. You can see we now have this authoritative symbol that is recommended by your organization. We click into the item, and head over to the Settings tab, we can see it is now authoritative. By setting it as authoritative, delete protection is automatically added. In our next video, we're going to look at turning off and on this delete protection. In this video, we assess the use of the content status property for an item object in ArcGIS Online using the ArcGIS API for Python.